everybody. Thanks for tuning in for this week's episode of Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice, the Princess of Phoenix, here at RadioPhoenix.org. We have my lovely guest here, Mr. Ghazi Speaks. Yes, this man has so much wisdom and inspiration to share with the world. He's going to be discussing his new book here today. Let me see the book, Brother Ghazi. Straight Up. 17 lessons on living authentically. You guys go cop this book. It's off the chain. And you guys are going to be looking at the interview we got coming up here. So you guys stay tuned. Actually, let me see the book so I can keep looking and take all my notes from it. Come home.
Was that Bruno Mars?
That's Bruno Mars.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You like that song? Good. I had already recorded. Alright, so we're going to get started. The song's over. Kinda. Testing, testing. You can hear good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, everybody, that was the new hit song from Bruno Mars, How I Like It.
Oh,
Do you like that song, Brother Ghazi?
it's interesting. To say the least, very interesting.
Well, you know, we like to get our groove on here at Let's Talk Life, so we're playing all the hit songs.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope you enjoyed it.
That's pretty good.
So, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. You know, everybody, we have Mr. Ghazi Speaks here in the studio today. He is a life coach, a motivational speaker, and now a self-published author.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate that.
You're so welcome. I know you worked very hard on the book, Brother Ghazi, and I'm so happy to see it all came together, and I wish you the most success.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate it. Coming from you, that means a lot.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Brother Ghazi. You know, I just wanted to kind of get into the fact that, you know, you've been a loyal customer of mine. You give me great, you know, support and inspiration and wisdom, so I just wanted to say thank you for being a friend.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Thank you. Friends is needed in today's world.
You know, they're few, far in between, hard to find, so when you do find somebody that believes in you and supports you,
Right.
you gotta, you know, you guys gotta stick together.
Yes, ma'am. No doubt.
Especially in this world, this day and age. But what we're gonna do right now, you guys, is we're gonna sip a little tea, which means the latest gossip that might be going on in the world today. And the tea that I have today is that Tiger Woods got arrested for a DUI over the weekend.
What?
Can you believe it?
Tiger Woods.
You know, I think that because people think that people are celebrities, that they're exempt from real life issues, but in reality, they're not.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody's going through something, everybody has a struggle. But to me, I'm like, if you have all this money, why can't you just call an Uber?
Right.
What do you think?
Well, you know, that actually, Tiger Woods getting locked up actually just reminded me of some of the things I wrote in the book, Straight Up, 17 Lessons on Living Authentically. Because oftentimes what happened is we're wearing a mask.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're projecting an image to the world, a celebrity image. Most celebrities wear masks.
Mm-hmm.
And they hide behind that mask because the true self is really in pain. You know, the true self is oftentimes unbalanced and sometimes it's really hurting. But they got to project this image to the world because it's an image of strength and vitality and success and progress. But on the inside, it could be hurting, you know. So, you know, anytime you got to wash your problems away, you know, with alcohol, you know, you're trying to escape something.
Right.
You know, some of the reports I read, he was like asleep behind the wheel, and he had damaged the car, and so he was doing some heavy drinking. So we don't know what's going on with his personal life. What's going on with him, not just with relationship or intimate life, but with him personally, spiritually. Something can be going on with him.
I think that was right on the nail, Brother Ghazi. I feel like these celebrities or just people in general are put under so much pressure, and they maybe don't know how to handle it properly, and then things like this happen, and then you're right, you've been wearing this mask, but all of a sudden now your true self is revealed because something tragic happened, and now the whole world knows your business. You've been found out.
Yeah, no doubt.
There is something that's probably going on.
But and even being found out, I think it's important that we don't rush to judgment, because all of us dealing with our issues, and according to the scripture, we've all fallen short of the glory of the God. So sometimes people, we put them celebrities up on a high pedestal, but they just normal. They average people. They got average problems, and some of them got more problems than we have, because they have money problems and all the problems that comes along with being rich, and most of us don't have them kind of problems. So their problems could be compounded.
They got rich people problems.
Yeah, they got rich people problems and problems. Normal people problems.
Real problems.
Yeah, so.
I think that was really true. Well, thanks so much for sipping a little tea with me there, Brother Ghazi, about Tiger Woods. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to move into the spirituality segment. As I stated before, Let's Talk Life is going to be discussing life issues in the areas of wealth, health, spirituality, and relationships. So you are going to be my first guest concerning our spirituality segment. And when it comes to spirituality, the way I look at it is that everybody has their own way that they are in tune with the higher being, or God, or whoever it is that they, I guess you would say, worship through their religion, right? But then when it comes, there's a difference between religion and spirituality. Would you say so?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I feel like religion is going somewhere on a routine basis. Okay, you go to church every Sunday, you go to the mosque, do this and that. Spirituality is more like a relationship that you have with your higher being, that is with you every day, that helps you get through different life issues. And I just kind of want to talk about the difference between spirituality and religion. What do you think?
Well, actually, that's a good topic. Actually, one of the 17 lessons in the book is dealing with spirituality, and is differentiating the difference between spirituality and religion, and how most religion is really based on rituals. And if I don't practice God ritualistically the way you do, or worship Him, or venerate and honor Him ritualistically the way you do, then I'm a heathen. I'm a non-believer. I'm somebody that's going to hell. So religiously, I grew up as a Muslim, and of course, it's a lot of rituals that comes along with it. When we pray, we talk Arabic. Some of the clothes, the attire that we wear, etc. However, personally, in my own personal evolution, I've grown to be more spiritual and to see beyond ritual. So now, I remember hearing years ago, I heard Minister Farrakhan say, he was speaking at a World Parliament of Religion, and he said something I never forgot, and it really affected me. This is probably about 20 years ago I heard this, and I was a lot younger. And he was speaking to a World Parliament of Religions, and all the major religions were there. And he said, I am a Christian. He said, because a Christian means one who is crystallized into one with God, following the example of Jesus Christ. He said, I'm a Buddhist. A Buddhist is one who is enlightened or follow the enlightened one. He said, I am a Hebrew. A Hebrew is one who cross over from bad to good, from darkness to light. Then he said, I am a Muslim. Because a Muslim is simply one who surrenders his or her will to do the will of God. And what he was saying was that sometimes we let the artificial barriers divide us, but when you pull off all the artificial barriers and the rituals, really the message of Buddha and Jesus and Muhammad and all of the rest of the ascended masters, the great ones that come among us, you will see commonality in their message. The way we express it is different. It may come in different languages, different cultural norms, but the essence of the message is really one.
Oh, that was deep, Brother Ghazi, and I think that was a perfect explanation of what spirituality is. And here at the Let's Talk Life show, we embrace all religions and backgrounds. I'm a universalist. I just believe in whatever something, as long as it's positive and of good and it's helping somebody to become their best, then I'm all about it. You know, there's no judgment zone here. We're not going to say, oh, because you didn't go to church, you know, since you were 10 years old, you're a heathen, or
Right.
because you don't, you know, go
Right.
to the mosque.
Some
and
people
pray.
do that, though. Some people
They
do that.
they do. So we just want to say here, there's a no judgment zone. We're not trying to force or press any form of religion on anyone. We're just using spirituality as a form and a resource to help people to get through tough life issues and become their best.
Right.
Yeah, so anyway, everybody, thanks for tuning in to this segment of Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice, the Princess of Phoenix, here at RadioPhoenix.org, where the Valley comes to talk, sing, and connect. We are going to be playing another song coming up here by Russ, and then we're going to be getting into the interview with Brother Ghazi and discussing his book, Straight Up, 7 Lessons of Living Authentically.
17.
17 lessons. Don't forget the other 10,
right.
all 17, of lessons on living authentically. So you guys stay tuned. One more. All right. No problem. Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice show. That was a wonderful song by an independent artist, Russ, called Manifest. Did you like that song, Brother Ghazi?
That was pretty good.
I really chose that song because it just talks about him, you know, speaking things into existence. He manifested the destiny that he wanted for himself.
Right.
And I think that's so important, and that's kind of in alignment with what your book talks about, is how to discover your true, authentic self.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think that that's a process and something that's kind of difficult for people, and they don't know exactly where to start. And so we're just going to have a little conversation about, you know, being your authentic self and kind of identifying who you are, who your true self is. So I'm going to take a quote from your book here, and it says, I stopped judging myself for my flaws, and I changed the image that I had of myself in my own mind. You must learn to embrace yourself, flaws and all. The only way that you will grow authentically is to accept yourself and work to improve the areas of your life where needed. Speak on that a little bit.
Yes, ma'am. Well, you know, I love that quote there, too. Of course, I love it. It was born from my heart because it really speaks to, like, so many people who go through a lot of hardships in life. They struggle in life. They come up in impoverished areas, single parents, in the ghettos, whatever, the barrios, and they tend to, you know, we all tend to judge ourselves based on our experiences, you know, and for many years, I didn't think I was really worthy to do things in life. I was being blessed to accomplish things in the nonprofit sector. I was working a lot with young people. I was going to a lot of schools speaking, and I was building up. You know, my momentum was building. But as it was building, truthfully, it was building on the outside, but on the inside, I was still shrinking.
Right.
Because somewhere in my own mind, I still thought, you're not worthy.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be here because you come from this kind of environment. You had this kind of experience, you know, prison and streets or whatever, the kind of family I come up in, you know. So, you know, I didn't want to, what I want to share with people with that particular quote right there is that when I started changing the image that I had of my own self in my own mind, miracles started happening. So when I stopped seeing myself as a victim of circumstances, when I stopped seeing myself as somebody that's caged to these, to the hood and to the ghetto, you know, to the stereotype. When I changed the image of my mind and started saying, hell, you can be whoever you want to be. You know, literally, you can make your mind up right now, change the image, because really what it is we perpetuate a lifestyle because we have an image in our mind. So the Bible says it like this, as a man thinketh, so is he in his heart, so is he. So sometimes what we think about, the image that we have, what we see, we start building that image and recreating that image no matter where we go. So some people can move from city to city, And if you have the same image in your mind,
Yep.
you will find very shortly that you create the exact same circumstances that you was running away from in that previous city because the image in your mind have not changed. That's still you. That's still who you are.
Yeah.
So when I started seeing myself differently, miracles started happening, doors started opening, and a lot of opportunity was afforded me. I started seeing myself differently, then the world responded to me different.
Right.
Circumstances responded to me different.
Right, that was deep, Brother Ghazi. And to me, myself, I'm always on a mission to learn how to become my best. And then what I want to do is help others learn how to become their best because, you know, you might be good at one thing and another person's not good at anything or something different. But like you said, it's about you finding the areas of your weaknesses, you know, or areas of improvement in your own life and working on that. So I think that's a process of, you know, defining or finding your authentic self. So I think that was really deep. We're going to move into another quote that you came up with. It says, I am 1,000% focused on improving myself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, socially, economically, and my health. There are absolutely no distractions formed against me that will prosper. And I really love that quote because I feel like everybody's so distracted.
Right.
There's so many distractions in life that people lose their focus, people don't achieve the goals that they have set out in their heart or their mind, and they just keep like spinning their wheels, and you look up 5, 10 years later, you've been doing the same thing because of distractions. So let's just speak on how people can maybe, you know, stay focused, 1,000% focused on improving yourself, like your quote said.
Yeah, well, for one, your why got to be clear, crystal clear. Your why, your objective. And what I grew to understand in my own personal growth is that not even Satan has the ability to stop you from reaping what you have sown. He don't have the authority. That's above his pay grade.
Yes, yes.
As powerful as we think he is, he don't even have that authority or that power. But what he does is, skillfully, is he distract you from sowing your blessings. He can't stop you from reaping your blessings, but he can distract you from sowing your blessings. And so all the distractions, what happen is, we get so distracted that we don't sow the blessings. See, we're going to reap what we sow.
Right.
If you sow it, you're going to reap it.
That's right.
But what happens, all these distractions, we don't even reap. So 10 years from now, we wonder why life is in the same situation. Nothing has changed. And we woe is me. We depressed. We're going to drugs and alcohol and, all kind of reckless lifestyles because we have refused to stay focused on the sowing process. I want to just sow. I want to sow because I know, according to a universal law, whatever I sow, I will reap. And if I don't reap it, my children will reap it. But somebody's going to reap it, though. So I like sowing, so I don't like being distracted from what I want to do. And this book was really, when I began to understand that, I just focused, Work didn't mean, I didn't worry about bills, I didn't worry about nothing. I just wanted to focus. I just wanted to sow so I can sow something in the world that, God willing, that one day, I'll reap, great benefits from. And people who read the book and encounter what God used me to put in the book, they too will reap great benefits from, what they're in.
Most definitely. I think that's awesome, and I just think a really great point that you made is that if you don't sow anything, how can you reap? That's like going to the garden and just watching for weeks and days, for the dirt, something to come out the dirt, but you never planted a seed, you never watered the seed, you never let the seed get any sun, so what do you expect to reap? That was a good point, not coming. So another great quote that came from your book is, when your life is about to have a breakthrough, it will be at this point where your toughest trials and greatest obstacles and hardest decisions will manifest. Life is never this or that, but it is this and that, with one always fighting for supremacy. What do you mean by that quote?
Well, because sometimes, depending on where we at in our lives, in our personal development, if we have become quote-unquote religious, then we tend to judge our life by a good decision that we make. I made the decision to join church and join mosque and start doing something positive. So that's who I am. That becomes my identity. And then we tend to overlook and forget about when we was Junebug and Pookie and
Mhm.
promiscuous and
Right.
crazy as hell. You know,
Right.
we tend to forget about that and the
Mhm.
people who's in that lifestyle because now I'm identifying myself with something else.
Mhm.
Or if you wallow deep down into the negative side of life, then you tend to and possibly you come from a positive environment. And some people come from, most of our parents try the best they can to raise us right.
Right.
And, they do the best they can with us in terms of guiding us. And sometimes, we go left, we go left.
Right.
And we get so engrossed sometimes in the negative side that becomes our identity.
Right.
So when I'm in that quote right there, what I'm saying is that I'm neither this nor that. I'm not all positive or all negative.
Right.
But I'm positive and negative.
Right.
And when I get to the point where I can accept that,
Mhm.
and I can embrace that and balance that out,
Right.
Me, who I am, Ghazi, in truth,
Mhm.
I got a lot of positive decisions that I've made,
Mhm.
a lot of negative decisions that I've made.
Right.
I've learned from both positive choices, and I've also learned equally from negative choices,
Right.
But one of them is always striving for supremacy at any moment in your life. Who gonna rank supreme, the positive or the negative?
Right. That's pretty good. So the last quote that I want to talk about from the book is, it says, life makes us vulnerable. As long as there is breath in your body, you will be susceptible to physical, emotional, and psychological anguish. The question becomes not if it happens, but when it happens, how will you respond? Always remember that the test is in your response. And I love that quote because no one is able to control the life trials and tribulations that you'll go through. But you control your response to
Absolutely.
it. Are you going to go drinking and, drug yourself to death because, something didn't go right, somebody, passed away, or you got fired, or whatever it is that might be happening in your life, you have to really learn how to handle it in a positive manner so that it won't negatively affect you in the future. And what do you think about that quote?
And I would add. I mean, you summed it up absolutely perfect. And I would add to that. If you were taking a test, when you go to school, you take a test. It can have 100 questions on it. As long as you're looking at that test, it's not a test for you until you start responding. When you start asking, if you don't do nothing, there ain't no test for you.
No.
It ain't really testing you.
Right.
Like somebody else may judge you, but personally, it's not a test for you.
Right.
You don't test what you know, what you don't know,
Right.
because you ain't even started on it.
Mm-hmm.
But once you respond, that goes on around me, I can control my response to it, And the response that we make to anything, that's going to be our test right there. Whether we fail or pass, it's always in our response.
Mm-hmm.
Never in what's happening to us. That's just the figures and the problems on the paper, what happened to it. But how we respond, that's that A, B, C, or D,
right.
or F
Right.
that we get at the end.
Mm-hmm.
All that's based on our response. You respond adequately enough, you got an F.
Mm-hmm.
You respond good enough, oh, you got an A.
I like that. That's a good way to really put it.
Yes,
and, I just want to let everybody know how they can get your book and how they can reach you if they ever want to, hire you for a public speaking engagement or whatever it is. Can you give us some information about your book?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Well, you can reach me through our website. Of course, that's GhaziSpeaks.com. That's GhaziSpeaks.com. Also, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, all of them at Ghazi Speaks. And also, you can reach me through email at yourpathisunique@gmail.com, or you can text me or call me, area code 602-544-6239. And I want to say I really appreciate this interview, Leticia. You have always been a high-spirited person, and I'm truly humbled and grateful for being here in this station with you today. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome,
Yes,
Mr. Ghazi Speaks. I love to come to all your events and listen to all the wonderful wisdom that you have. You guys, the book is phenomenal. You guys, if you're looking for some ways to learn how to find your authentic self, this book is a great option. And thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Let's Talk Life with Leticia Latrice, right here at RadioPhoenix.org, where the Valley comes to talk, sing, and connect. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.